All right, let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome, episode 149 of the show, Michael Lab Show. Um, I have nobody I have to answer to. I have nobody that tells me what I can and can't say on this podcast, and that is the reason why I love it. I think that's why people listen to it, and I think that's why people continuously come back and forth to watch it on YouTube. So as you guys can see in the title, it's going to be I guess, I don't know, the title should read something about Logan Paul. I'm not 100% sure, but there's more serious topics I want to talk about in this specific episode. Three main ideas I have. Before we get started though, happy Thursday, to the world out there. I'm New York City is getting crushed with snow, and Boston is getting crushed with snow. It's every year climate is getting worse and worse and worse, and it snows again. But I think when people say climate change, it doesn't mean that it's just going to be hotter during the winter. What it means is that whatever the normal is going to be an extreme version of that. So if it's cold, it's going to be colder. If it snows, it's going to snow harder. If it's hot, it's going to be hotter. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's December 17th and we're already getting snow throughout the entire country. Christmas time is right around the corner. I do know I've only, like, this Christmas I'm super frugal. Like I'm honestly only getting one gift. Like I think it's a universal understanding right now, this time of the year, at least for 2020, that people are kind of pulling back on the gifts, which I know is not good for the economy, but it's something that I know personally. I'm going into my last year of school. Each semester is going to cost me about $3,000 to $3,500. I don't know. I do know a lot of people don't like talking about money, but as you guys are fully aware, I'm very transparent with money. I think it's super important to talk about finances. And I think the reason why people struggle so much with finances and they don't know how to save money, they don't know what the difference of investing money is or saving money, or why does it not make sense? Just certain things seem so foreign to so many people because I think we don't talk about money. Like, we never talk about it. I know, at least the way I was brought up, it was, you never really talked about money, right? Like, and if it came up, you kind of just hushed. I never really understood the way it worked. Like, I never understood the true value of it until just honestly this year. And then once I've learned the value of it and I learned the importance of it, I feel like it's my job to bring that minimal amount of knowledge I have to you guys. I just like talking about it. I talk about it with my friends at work. I talk about it when I'm out and about. I talk to it with Taylor. I talk to it with my family. I talk to it, with my parents, friends, just anybody. I love just talking about money because I think there's nothing, like, if you have money, like, if you wake up tomorrow and you win the lottery, you're not a bad person. But what you do have is you've unlocked the key to freedom. And freedom in the sense that you can do what you want when you want. Therefore, you have the key to time. And time is the one thing that people regret the most, right? Jesus Christ. Time is the one thing that people regret the most, right? So in my opinion, one second. Sorry, my dog is having anal issues, like anus problems. So that's kind of important, I guess. But yeah, so I feel like time is the one thing that people, when they end up passing away or when they end up dying, it's like That's the one thing they lay on their bed and like, shit, I want that part of my life back. And I think money is the way that you obtain the key to control time. But people don't talk about money, so people never get the keys. So I feel like it's my obligation to at least come on, talk about it once or twice a month, especially during these times of like the holidays where people are spending an absurd amount of money. I saw a stat. How much debt do people go into during Christmas? I think it's I saw a crazy stat. Okay, so among those surveyed from Fold.com, including consumers who did and did not buy gifts for Christmas, 21.5% racked up debt in 2019. This percentage is slightly higher among those who did buy gifts, 22.5%. As far as paying off the debt, this is what I care about. Paying off that debt goes, 27.5% of people 27.5% of people who went into debt have no idea how they'll go about it. I guess it's kind of, here we go. This looks like a better number for Magnify Money. What a legit name. Here you go. Here's a few key stats. But I just think this is important for people to realize before you just start spending money and you start making non-intellectual idea or moves, and you also make non-financial intelligent moves. And I think this is, anyways, Americans took on an average of $1,325 of holiday debt in 2019, according to a survey conducted by Magnify Monify. The vast majority of respondents won't be paying off their holiday debt by January. So that's not good. Compounding debt is the same way that you can compound interest in the market or anywhere where money accumulates. It happens the same way, but reversal. And it probably happens worse. If you owe $1,000, well, yeah, you're going to be like, well, that's only 4 payments of whatever, $250, but it doesn't work that way. It accumulates, and it's a snowball effect. If you owe $1,000, well, then you have to buy something else, and then it's $1,020, and then it's $1,300, and then it's $1,400, and it just keeps on going like that. And the bigger it gets, the scarier it gets, and the scarier it gets, the more you remove yourself from the situation. By removing yourself from the problem, you're creating just an absolute disaster. So when Christmas time comes around, you have to pay off your debts, and you also shouldn't be spending a shit ton of money. 44% of consumers took on debt this holiday season. Gen Xers added the most debt, a whopping $2,000.76. What is a Gen X? Generation X. Nope, that's Gen X service in Elkridge, Maryland. I need Gen X. Gen X are 60s to the 80s. So what's that? You're born 70, 50 years old. I guess that makes sense. Like, those people at least use debt they leverage it against themselves. 78% of those with holiday debt won't be able to pay it off come January. Bad. 58% of indebted consumers are stressed about the holiday debt. That's not good. You also don't get to enjoy the holidays. 70% of those with holiday debt owe money on their credit cards. I guess whenever you owe money on a credit card, that's debt. I think those are interchangeable. 40% plan to consolidate debt and or shop around for a good balance transfer interest rate. That's not good. Those who added holiday debt said the most expensive gift they purchased was either for their child or their spouse significant other. Yeah, I'll be in that range. Holiday debt is up 8% from last year. So, debt's good, but also it's not good. It's continuously rise. That makes sense, though. It used to be like you get like a chessboard for the holidays, and people were like super pumped about that. But now it's not like that. Now it's like the new iPhone and the new Xbox, the new, like this year, the new PS5, which is hilarious. Like, it's kind of like the shoe market. Like, you have companies like StockX, and you have these companies that they buy these PS5s. And I was talking to my friend about this, and it was like they buy these like Sony. They release a limited amount of PS5s, and they do that. I guess it's like a brand thing. It's like to create hype, because they sell out of all of them. You know, I don't think it's a demand. I don't think it's a supply thing. I'm sure they can. I'm sure Sony has the capital to meet the demand. I mean, then they probably wouldn't be able to mark up the price as high as they do. But these like these factories of these people, what'd she say? I'm sorry, I gotta also. Taylor's contacting me. Uh-oh, I got in trouble because I fed her too many treats. I give her too many treats. She's not happy with me. Our dog is like scooting her butt up against the floor. I don't know. Small dogs do it, but also dogs do it if you feed them too many treats. And I feed her treat. I have like I could I could spend a long time in therapy with this because I have this weird relationship with food. And then I'll go ahead. I want to cover three main topics, where I want to eat food, right? So like if like my first turn to when I'm stressed or sad or even even extremely happy is food. Like it's a celebration thing. It dampens it doesn't I don't have to feel feelings, right? So I eat. And I can just gorge myself. And gorging myself allows me to just kind of escape from a different world. And it's the same way that if you drink, you escape reality literally because you're altering your world. So, anyways, I've been doing the carnivore diet, which is fine. It's great. It's awesome. But I don't. There's. Sometimes I want like pizza, right? So, and I do. I'll give like I'm carnivore. At least 5 days of the week. Sometimes I have carbs. Like I had carbs last night on a Tuesday. I have carbs on like this upcoming Sunday. I'm gonna have carbs because I'm making cookies with my family, an extended family, and they're probably gonna have like Italian food. So I'm gonna have carbs then. But otherwise, I stick to just meat, and I do it 5 to 6, between 5 to 7 days a week, and I feel great. But I suck with the dogs because I feel guilty. And I don't know why I feel guilty, but I let them inside. So we're training our dog to just poop in the woods. And she's basically trained at this point, right? She's basically trained, but I still feel the need to reward her. And she's a much better dog parent than I am. She rewards a dog once in a blue moon just to reinforce that's what you're supposed to do. Good job. On the other hand, bring her inside. And she'll still look at Taylor and be like, "Hey, I want food." Like I'll give her a snack, like the dog's like, "Hey, snack time," and Taylor just ignore it. I don't. I immediately feel guilt. I'm I'm learning this. The older and older I get, the longer I live. I'm a giver, dude. I give things to people. Like I remember when Taylor and I first started dating, man. I used to just give her. I used to just go out and buy her literally 5 pints of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, right? And usually it's because I want ice cream, you know. But I also, if I don't want to just eat ice cream, I also buy her ice cream. But then I buy her more ice cream, 5 pints of ice cream, and I give things, and so I do it with the dog. I give them way too many treats, and we have one big, huge dog, a big black dog that's a black German Shepherd, and she's super furry, and she has more like skin issues and like intestinal issues. And our little tiny, we call it little Mexican street dog. She has more like intestinal issues, and I feed her too many treats, and she's like 40 pounds, and I give her those full-on treats, and it's just not good. And I'm an irresponsible dog dad, and I apologize, Riley, but she was trying to take a poop this morning, and it just was hanging out of her butt, and it was disgusting. And I thought I was going to have to like pull it out. I'm sorry if you guys are eating. I apologize. Just skipped like 2 minutes. I thought I was going to have to like pull it out, but she eventually unlodged the landmine, and she was okay. But I have to now stop feeding her as much as I do, which is fair. So yeah, I need to be more careful. I could spend a long time in therapy with that. A therapist would have a field day with that one. Um, but yeah, Christmas is right around the corner. Just be careful. Don't put yourself in too much debt. I know, like, I'm actually recording this on Wednesday, so I do know that at least as of right now, it could have happened. I put my phone on airplane mode, and I don't have any pop-ups on my computer. As of right now, they are passing a stimulus package. Thank God, finally, like a little bit. Like, Jesus Christ, should have happened months ago. But they're passing a stimulus package, and looks like direct payments are in there. So the $1,200 checks should be getting pushed. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what we know right now. The congressional leaders add stimulus checks to $900 billion relief package, which I know is a lot less than what they wanted. So, I mean, it looks like so they're adding checks to it. So we're all going to get checks. A bipartisan proposal released earlier this week by a group of moderate lawmakers excluded another round of $1,200 stimulus checks. But as congressional leaders try to resolve differences in recent days, they decided to try and include a round of direct payments in the emerging legislation. They're rushing to complete a deal because they must pass it. New spending bill Friday night at midnight in order to avoid a government shutdown. House Democrats had sought a much larger stimulus package before this election, but have softened their position since President-elect Biden victory in hopes of securing immediate release. So, looks like we're gonna, I suppose, include 600 in the package last week. I don't know. Like, I'm doing this on Wednesday. You guys know more than I do. It could be 1,200, it could be 600. I'm not sure. I mean, the fact that we're in a recession and our government's giving us money is kind of, this is my thing. Is like, people constantly get upset about the way that this, just the way a lot of people are embarrassed by America, think America's a bad country. I totally understand it. Like, I totally understand we have a far amount of flaws, right? And some of those flaws are terrible. Some of those flaws are not good, and they make a lot of people uncomfortable, and there's still inequality, and I get it. I totally sympathize with you. I don't understand, like, from a personal standpoint. I do in some regards, but not in all regards, obviously, because of just, let's face it, my race. But at the same time, there is still so much to be, I don't want to say grateful for, because it just doesn't seem like the right word, but I think there's so much that we have and we do that other countries would never even imagine. Like, so, for example, if you wrangled up a few of those people who were in Seattle, 4 or 5 months ago, creating the little country, burning down buildings, literally killing people. Like, there was an incident of someone getting killed in that little no-go zone. People just, old people getting beat up, and just absolute chaos. And you take one of these punks, and these people who think that whatever they think. I feel like I'm taking a step back. But it is our history. I do think we do need to talk about it a lot more. But if you take one of these people and you bring them to, like, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but like a country like the slums of India, or you take them to, like, Jesus Christ, Mike, thanks, like Zimbabwe or something, or like the Congo, or like Rwanda. You take to just these countries that are parts of the Philippines, where these people are comfortable with their lives, but they know there's something better out there. And you take one of those punks from Seattle and you bring him to Rwanda, or, Sierra Leone, and they're like, how's your country? And if you start, like, saying mad shit about it, how it sucks, this, that, whatever, like they don't pay, like, just whatever, fill in the blanks with whatever you want, they're going to look at you like, that's the reason why America's hated by so many countries. Because of that, because so many people in this country, we get so comfortable with what we have, what we're privileged to have, that we don't appreciate it anymore. And I think that's so dangerous. I think that you can feel that it's kind of underneath of everything that happens in this country. We don't appreciate what we have. We don't understand that a lot of the luxuries that we have are just that. They're luxuries. They're not supposed to be there. I mean, name me another time in the world history where we can literally have a pandemic where over, I don't know how many people have died of COVID worldwide. I don't care about the U.S. Worldwide, 1.64 million deaths. That's worldwide in of COVID. I mean, how many times in human history can we sit? By the way, 41.7 million people recovered. That's astonishing. That's incredible. That's incredible. But how many times, how many places in the world can you go through a pandemic, have some serious political and race issues, lose trust in the law enforcement, which is something I want to talk about, and just having a lot of things that we believe in start, shaking in the wind, and you get paid. I mean, that's remarkable, and I think that's kind of what we don't recognize anymore. We don't recognize the fact that we are going through a recession right now, and the economy's, it's doing well. The market's doing well. I don't know about the economy because the market is not the economy, but we just got to the point where we're going to get paid again. All of us. Anybody who hates the government or doesn't or loves the government, if you hate Trump or love Biden or hate Biden, we're all getting paid the amount of money that an average worker probably makes in a year in a factory or in the diamond mines in Sierra Leone. Look that up. Sierra Leone diamond miners make. Diamond mining remains one of the How much does Sierra Leone diamond miners make? Okay. Around 3,000 children are estimated to be working in the mines, but there are no official figures, and the numbers might be much higher. Children are paid 10,000 to 20,000 leones, $3 to $6 a day, and less than $10 if they find diamonds. This same diamond will sell for more than 100 times the value. So if they work, I'm assuming they don't do a 5-hour work week. I'm assuming they work 7 days a week, but just to be fair, let's say they work 6 days a week. And let's say they're on the high end of that, 6 days a week. So, I mean, what's that? 6 days a week. I'm 365 divided by 6. Shit. Oh my God. I feel so dumb. 365 divided by 7. 52. Yeah, okay. Sorry. 6 times 52. Jesus Christ. So let's say they're working 312 days a week. That's 1 day off, which I'm assuming they probably work 7 days a week, and maybe they get 1 day off every 14, 15, 20 days. So that's 312 days. Let's say they're making $6 a day. That's $1,800. 1,872. Let's say they're making $3 a day. That's $3 times 312 is $936. That's what a child is making in the diamond mines of Sierra Leone. A diamond that we put on our wrist, or that we put on our fingers to ask people to marry us. A diamond that represents us wealth, beauty, power. Meanwhile, former American slaves from the founding of this country's history, their ancestors are now, instead of being enslaved growing plants for the white people here in this country, they're now providing us with jewels. That's dark, man. Jesus Christ, I've never put that together. That is fucking dark. That's dark, man. And people don't conceptualize this, and I get it. I guess it requires thought. It requires the ability to break things down and to look at them, segment your knowledge. And I think people just don't do that anymore. But that's scary to think that in this country, we all just got a $1,200 paycheck 6 months ago, and we're about to get paid again 600, or no, we could make $1,800 to $2,400 of free money for sitting on your ass doing nothing, as long as you pay taxes in 2019. Like, this is what I'm saying, and I think this is a serious issue that probably never going to be dealt with. But I digress. I think we're doing well. I think the market's doing well. I think the economy's going to do well. The housing market's doing well. I think people just need to save their money. If you have a job right now, and I repeat it pretty much every episode, at least once a week, do not quit your job. Do not go look. I don't think you should go looking for another job. Maybe you can, but I think right now having a job is the most amazing thing you can do. So if you have a job, keep your job. If you don't like your job, I don't care. Keep working at your job. If you love your job, try to move up at the job. I think there's a lot of opportunity for new management at a lot of jobs, because people are going to be coming back. There's going to be weird connections with employers and employees. A lot of people haven't worked for a while, so they're going to have to get that rust off of them, which means they might make mistakes, which means you're going to need strong leadership. So I think try to move up at your job. Try to just be a invaluable asset. I think people forget that the money that you make isn't a longevity thing for the amount of time you spend somewhere. Your hourly rate is a representation of the value that you bring to your company. So if you're making $12 an hour, but your value is $9 an hour, which is illegal in this country, which is a debate that you can make against minimum wage, but whatever, I digress. But if you're making $12 an hour, your value is $9 an hour, like what you give back to the company, you better keep your fucking mouth shut, because you're lucky. But if your value is $30 an hour and you're making $12 an hour, you should be making $30 an hour. I think Taylor and I had a great conversation about this, and I think there's definitely exceptions to it. I think the exceptions are if you're investing into the company. I think that's an important thing to do, so you can, because it's snowing outside, because then you can, it's snowing, because you can gain yourself, you can gain knowledge, and by the act of gaining knowledge, then you're packaging that value to disperse it later in the future. But just keep your jobs. But anyways, I do want to talk about a few things. One thing I did, since we're kind of floating around the topic right now, I do have a thin blue line behind me. I have a flag behind me. It's made out of wood. It's custom made, and it's got a blue line through it. I like to think I'm a very reasonable person. I like to think I am a very logical person. I like to think I listen to both sides of everything, and I enjoy it. And I consider myself a person who has a lot of liberal viewpoints. I do. I think what's best for what's best for the most amount of people is best for the world. I want to help people. I want to take care of people. I want to give people the opportunity to do well. I want to help people who. I'm not one of those people who say, well, if it's your decision, you have to live with your decision. I'm not. I think addicts need help. I think people with mental illness need help. I think it would be like, who said it to me? God, I forget who I was talking to. I'm not going to say his name, but I was talking to this guy, and he was breaking it down. I was trying to understand it better and better. Not that I didn't understand it, but I wanted to understand it better. He said, well, it's like being black in this country is like, because I can't understand it, but being anything, being a minority in this country is like, yeah, you can still achieve what everyone else achieves, but imagine running a race, but starting, ready, set, go, and then you start 30 seconds after that. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to train harder. You're going to have to work harder. You're going to spend more time on your craft. You're going to have to try to get around things, maybe take a shortcut here and there and weigh your risk if that shortcut's going to win. If the risk is low enough, if the reward is high enough for the risk, I think I want to bring that gap. I want that gun to go off, ready, set, go, and everyone starts at the same time. And then if you fail, then I think I could become more conservative at that point. But I'm very liberal in a lot of ways. And I think I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the thin blue line. But the one thing I do is I support police officers. I don't support bad police officers. I support police officers. I grew up with police officers. I was raised by police officers. I was raised by military first responders. I do have that in me. I understand there's bad police officers, but I also understand that police officers are necessary, and I do understand, and I also understand if you're a good police officer, you do make the community better. So I've had a couple people reach out to me, and they were very off-putting towards it. They basically said, they asked me what it was in a very contradictory, in a very demeaning way. You know what it is. That's why you asked me what it was, because you know what it is. You could ask me anything. You could ask me what this brain is or what this candle, whatever. You know what that is. Or what about the human looking at the alien in space, which is one of my favorite images of all time. Shout out to Haley, girlfriend, sister. I don't know if I should say that. I said it. Whatever. It's snowing outside. But yes, I do. I support police. Always will. It's the way I was brought up, I think there's bad cops. Trust me. But I think there's a lot of good. I think they're necessary. I think they're there if you need them. I think a world without cops is a world of disaster. Because there will be cops. And if they're not police officers delegated by the state, they're going to be cops delegated by humans, by each other. They're going to tell on each other. But before I end this podcast, I do want to cover one thing, and this is going to be really off topic, but I want to get to the title of the video. But yes, that's what it is. It's a thin blue line. And I know it being there causes conflict. I'm not dumb. I'm not like one of those people that are like, oh, well, it shouldn't matter. Well, it does matter, because a lot of people out there have terrible experiences with cops, because some cops are really bad. I'm not dumb. Like I said, I understand a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, viewpoints, and that's what I love about America, and that's what I love about humans in general. I love being a Homo sapien because of that. But I do want to get into just two topics. Shout out to Charles, though. One of my buddies, not one of my buddies, my best friend. He's been listening to the podcast, and he thinks I'm getting better at it. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Charles. You're always invited on the show, man. I have a mic right here. You can always come on the show, dude. I'm waiting for you. I know you just bought a house, but what the fuck are you doing, dude? Come on. Come over. We can have a few drinks. Have a glass of wine. We can shoot the shit. A couple hours on the podcast. Hop off the podcast. Do what you do. But come over here, man. That was like a little DM, podcast DM. If he's listening to this episode. If he's not, you guys are like, this guy's crazy. Logan Paul, dude. What a transition. That was probably the smoothest transition ever in the history of all podcasting. Yeah, Logan Paul, dude. Just like hitting you with that. Yeah, Logan Paul is he's scheduled to fight Floyd Mayweather. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, and I'm going to get a lot of pushback from this, and that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. And I'm dead serious when I say this. I'm so dead serious when I say this. Logan Paul is he's gonna KO Floyd Mayweather. He's gonna KO him. He's not gonna KO him if Floyd Mayweather demands and they agree upon Logan Paul having to lose weight. Logan Paul's a big boy. And I understand, and I listened to Logan Paul with Brendan Schaub, and Logan Paul was like, hey man, basically, how much? Yeah, he weighs 200 pounds. Logan Paul's 200 pounds. Floyd Mayweather is 150 pounds. So, I mean, that's 25%. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul is 25% heavier than Floyd Mayweather. And that means, I have no knowledge on boxing. No, absolutely no knowledge. I punched a bag probably for a total of, 15 minutes of my life. So I have no knowledge on it. So I shouldn't even be speaking on it. But that's why I love podcasting, because I speak on the things I don't know. I'm making this sweatshirt that says I don't know on it. And I'm thinking about ordering a few. And I'm thinking about selling them because I can't stop myself. I'm constantly... anyways, I digress. But like I was saying, I think Logan Paul is going to punch Floyd Mayweather one time just one time right in his temple and is going to knock Floyd Mayweather out. And the reason why I say is because physiology and the way the human body works is, I don't care if you are the greatest fighter of all time. There's a spot in your head right next to your eyes, between your eyes and your ears. Move up 2 inches. It's your temple. It's your good night button. If you hit it hard enough, you will be knocked out. And I know Floyd can move. I know he is the greatest fighter of all time. I mean, I would argue he's the GOAT. 50-0, bounces around. He's a defensive magician. And I know Logan Paul is... See, the thing is, Logan Paul, I'm pretty sure, finished 5th place in the Ohio State, or in the state of Ohio's wrestling tournament. So he's not like a slob. Like, he knows how to handle himself. But I guess it's more wrestling. But he can punch, you know? And I think boxing's interesting because basketball, you can't win it on one play. Football, you can't win it on one play. There's a consecutive amount of plays. But with boxing, if you sneak one punch in there, and let's say Floyd like just doesn't put his hand up quick enough, lights out to Floyd. And I think Logan Paul has that power. That's my hot take. Yo, I'm clipping that out, and I'm gonna put that on social media, and it's gonna get views, and it's going to get backlash. But that's okay. And a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but that's fine. That's what the podcast world is about. It's about speaking on things you don't know about, and then saying, I don't know what I'm speaking about. Don't take what I say serious, so you don't get hit with a lawsuit. So that is what I have to say about Logan Paul is going to knock out Floyd Mayweather on, February 20, 2021. And they're going to make a lot of money. That's why, let's face it, that's why they're doing the fight. I mean, they're both going to make $50 million. Floyd Mayweather's getting real boxing fans and like probably like the hip hop community and stuff. And Logan Paul is going to get the YouTube community. I mean, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, I mean, they invented the internet. Like they didn't invent the internet, but they've been around on the internet forever. So it's going to be a good one. That's my clip. Clip it out right there. Boom. Thank you for watching the Instagram video. Leave it a like, comment, and follow me on Instagram. Now let's get back to the YouTube. So one thing I want to talk about real quick, because I know how things work in this country, and I know no one's going to talk about this, and I haven't even seen a news story yet. I don't watch Fox or anything, though, so no one's going to talk about this, because this is how it works here in this country. Women get raped. Women get sex trafficked. Women get assaulted by old, creepy men, and nothing ever happens. And they're always somehow related to the fashion industry. They're always rich as shit. They're always got weird names. They're always white old men that are creepy as shit. And this is another story that nobody is going to talk about, because this is not what we do here in this country. We care about monotonous things because there's a famous saying, I think Winston Churchill said it. We care not if 1,000 men die. We care for if one man dies. Because that's what we do, man. If it's a huge story, if it's something that's just so disgusting, we don't want to see it. People don't want to see this. So here it is. Let's go here. Former fashion executive Peter Nygard charged with sex trafficking. The dude looks like a guy that would ship women across the country. And across the whole world. And I say it like that. Because that's what it is. Like, I don't want to desensitize it. I want to be as aggressive with these words as I possibly can. He took women and shipped them across the world to have sex with other men. That's what happens. That's what's still happening to this day. Jeffrey Epstein, we still don't know what happened. We don't even talk about it anymore. We literally just don't. And we all go about our days, and we all go like, we're like, oh, now the neighbors of Donald Trump, they don't want Donald Trump to come back and live with them. Like, we care about things that just don't matter. No matter. They just don't matter. Good. Peter Nygard, the former CEO of Canada-based fashion line, has been arrested and charged with racketeering. And by the way, he also won't go to jail. He's also 76 years old, so he doesn't care. This is what happens. These guys get to a certain age. They've done what they want. They've raped little people. They've raped women, and they just don't care anymore. So they just, when they get arrested, they won't go to jail, because if you have money, you can stay in the court system for as long as you want, pretty much. Like, if you have a good enough lawyer, you can always find a hole in the system, a loop to get around something to avoid jail time. So that's what he's going to do. He's a billionaire. I mean, how much is the dude worth? He's a billionaire, right? He's got to be a billionaire. They're all billionaires. Yeah, he's worth $900 million. The dude's a billionaire. He went to North Dakota, but he's from Finland. He went to University of North Dakota. Has been arrested and charged sex trafficking and other crimes after authorities in Manitoba acted on a U.S. request for his extradition. Nygard is accused, 79 years old, sorry, I think I said 74, is accused of using the influence of his now defunct company, Nygard International, employees and funds to recruit and maintain adult and minor-aged female victims over a period of at least 25 years for the sexual gratification of himself and his friends and business associates, according to the indictment. Nygard allegedly targeted women and minors from disadvantaged economic backgrounds, including those with a history of abuse. This is the scum of the earth. Do you not realize this is the scum of the earth? These are the people that run a lot of organizations, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, because the moment you do that, people automatically debunk you and they just discount what you have to say. But you cannot discount this. This guy was a disgusting human. There's people like this all the time. People don't realize that Maryland, the 95, which goes from Florida all the way up to New York City, that literally is a trafficking system for drugs. Make drugs legal for underage women. I mean, it is what it is. It's disgusting. Nygard allegedly targeted women and minors from disadvantaged economic backgrounds, including those with a history of abuse. Nygard and his associates are accused of forcibly assaulting these victims as well as drugging them. Additionally, the indictments states that Nygard maintained relations with a certain number of his victims, whom he called girlfriends. They were required to travel and engage in sexual activity with him, and were allegedly controlled through force, fraud, and coercion. Some of these girlfriends were on Nygard's international payroll as models or assistants, the indictment says. Nygard International filed for bankruptcy in March, a month after its New York offices located in Times Square were raided by the FBI and NYPD as part of the investigation that led to his weak arrest and indictments. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. After the February police raid, Ken Friedman, spokesman, imagine these people got to be worse than the person who did it. They're just there for the money. They're supporting this. Told ABC News that the fashion tycoon welcomed the investigation and, quote, expects his name to be clear. So that's what happens with these people. They get so powerful that they literally think that everyone owes them something. Like the amount of money he has, yeah, those girls deserve what they have because they need me. I don't need them. So in his delusional head, he thinks that he's doing the right thing for them. The lawyers denied their charges against his client. A bail hearing is set for January 13th, but Prober is seeking their hearing as early as next week, the Times reported. Nygard's neighbor in the Bahamas, Louis Bacon, had also filed a lawsuit against the fashion mogul, accusing him of sexually exploiting teenage girls. The federal lawsuit was filed on behalf of 10 women who accused Nygard of sexual assault. This stuff, it pisses me off because no one's going to talk about it. It's over. It's done. This is all we're going to get. This is literally all we're going to get. But people don't get it. This is all we're going to get. Louis Bacon, he told them what was going on. He's a hedge fund manager. He's worth $1.5 billion. And nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. We don't care about women getting raped. And I think the reason why is because the men run the world. So they don't care. Because I think A lot of men want to do that, which is disgusting. It's horrible. Fuck it. I'm so pissed. It makes me so mad. Peter Nygard insists FBI sex trafficking probe is a setup launched by his arch nemesis, buttoned-up billionaire neighbor. Oh, okay, it's a setup. This guy's actually delusional. Who has spent $6 million trying to bring him down since they started feuding over their Bahamas mansions. That's insane. They're feuding over the Bahamas mansions. Guys, that's it. I'm done. I can't anymore. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna drink the rest of my sweet tea. Not sweet tea because it's just regular tea. It's like Crystal Light. Thank you guys so much for showing love on the show with me, Michael Labster. That guy's an absolute creep. Ugh, disgusting. I'll catch you guys in episode 150 of the show with me. 1/10. We're 10% away from 1,500 episodes. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. See ya.